So last topic of the episode, talking about Fernando Mendoza versus Ty Simpson. And here's my thing, right? Dan Orlovsky brought this up. My problem with Dan Orlovsky's take was not that he had Ty Simpson over Fernando Mendoza. You're allowed to rank players the way you want to rank them, right? Like, I'm not in this world where it's just like, hey, you have to think one way about something or you're completely wrong. If you want to say Ty Simpson's better than Fernando Mendoza, okay. In a year from now, 2 years from now, multiple years from now, when we start seeing these guys' careers and seeing how it plays out, we'll see if Dan Orlovsky was right or wrong, and we'll be able to clown him and criticize him for his takes about this situation. But here's my biggest problem about his take. My biggest problem about Dan Orlovsky's take about Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza is that when he says, well, what big games did Fernando Mendoza play in? That's a slap in the face to football fans. Like, flat out, slap in the face. Even if you want to say, did he play his best in those games? I still think that that's a little ridiculous to say. I thought he was money against Alabama and Oregon. I thought when he needed to step up and make plays against Miami, he did that. Like, during the season, like after Ty Simpson's first 8 games, and we started to see how this thing played out, we started to see that Fernando Mendoza was the best quarterback in the draft. Like, the takes that you had when you were watching these guys play should be the same takes that you have at the current moment, right? Fernando Mendoza is going to be the number 1 overall pick. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick for a reason. It's because to me, he's the best quarterback in this draft. Do I think that this is a great quarterback draft? No. But I think that Fernando Mendoza is a worthy number 1 overall pick. And the thing is, when it comes to the quarterback position, like, I know that there's a section of football fans who consider themselves like the ball-knowing football fans who will say like, no, you have to take the best player on the board because Fernando Mendoza, he's going to be like a Jared Goff type quarterback. If Fernando Mendoza is Jared Goff in the NFL, he's worth the number 1 overall pick. And I'm not even a huge Jared Goff fan. I think Jared Goff is somewhere around, quarterback 11 to 15, right? But at the end of the day, when you have a quarterback that's in that range from 11 to 15, you could still win a lot of games with that guy. You could still look at a team with a guy like that as their quarterback and say they are legitimate Super Bowl contenders because it's the most important position in the sport. The quarterback position is the most important position in the sport. That's why, I know people would call me crazy for this take, but that's completely fine. When it comes to who would I rather have, Jared Goff or Myles Garrett, I would take Jared Goff. And the reason why is if you're telling me, I think if Jared Goff was a quarterback of the Cleveland Browns and you take Myles Garrett off the team, I think they win more games because it's the quarterback position. The quarterback position is that important of a position. It trumps any other position in the sport by a wide margin. That's why quarterbacks get paid a wide margin more than any other position because it's that important of a position. You have no chance to win a Super Bowl if you have a quarterback that's like a bottom 12 starter in the NFL. You have a very, very small chance. The Denver Broncos had Bo Nix as their quarterback. What is Bo Nix? If you were to rank Bo Nix, I'd probably rank him anywhere from 15 to 20, right? Like in that range. If you want to say a little higher, fine. I don't hate that take, right? But he's not like a superstar quarterback. But you saw the difference with the Broncos when Bo Nix was on the team and when he wasn't. When Bo Nix was on the team, they were winning a bunch of games. And then the next week, you saw what happened. They had a backup quarterback in, and they weren't able to move the ball. And I don't even know how many points. Did the Patriots score like 13 points or something in that game? And the Broncos couldn't find a way to put more than that on the board, on the scoreboard. But to go back to the Fernando Mendoza thing, right? Because I'm getting a little bit off topic. Yeah, he probably projects to be like a Jared Goff type of quarterback in the NFL. That's better than any quarterback outside of Derek Carr. If you want to debate that, that's fine. But it's a start. Like, it's a step in the right direction. Like, you need a quarterback that's going to be able to go out there. He understands the offense. He understands what he has to do as a quarterback. And like this whole thing where it's like Fernando Mendoza is just an RPO quarterback and he has things that he needs to work on. Like, guys, like, he's a young quarterback, right? Like, that's why you get into the NFL and you receive NFL coaching. That's why you bring in Clint Kubiak, who's one of the best coaches, one of the best offensive minds in the sport. Clint Kubiak if he says that is my guy, you need to draft that guy, which by all measures, it looks like that's what's going to happen. Fernando Mendoza is going to be the number 1 overall pick, and that's going to be Clint Kubiak's quarterback. Clint Kubiak is going to build an offense around what Fernando Mendoza does very well. And they're going to try and find playmakers that fit what Clint Kubiak wants to do. I believe in Clint Kubiak as an offensive play caller. I think he's going to look at the pieces that this team has. When you look at a guy like Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, guys like that, and they will find a way to build an offense around the skill set of the players that they have that coincides with what Fernando Mendoza wants to do. So that's where I look at this and say, like, let's not overthink this. Ty Simpson, he could be a good quarterback, no doubt about it. But like, there's a reason why all season we looked at Fernando Mendoza and we said that is the best quarterback in the upcoming draft. There's a reason why we said that. There's a reason why he won the Heisman this year. And yes, did Fernando Mendoza have a great team around him? For sure. But at the same time, like, Fernando Mendoza was still able to be a very, very good quarterback. Like, you look at his frame, he's 6'5". He has a good arm. He can launch it. Like, there are a lot of things to like about Fernando Mendoza. Are there things that he needs to work on? Absolutely. I don't think he's great against pressure, right? Like, yeah, his offense was very heavy on RPOs. Like, you want to see more pro-style stuff out of Fernando Mendoza. But, like, to me, you could work on that when you're in the NFL, when you have NFL coaching. Like, look at some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Look at what Josh Allen was going into the NFL. Josh Allen was as raw of a prospect as you're going to see going into the NFL. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was not a refined quarterback when he got in the NFL. That's why when he got drafted, people were like, man, this guy has no footwork. There are some real flaws in his game. You look at a guy like Dak Prescott, right? Like, Dak Prescott, look at what he was coming into the NFL and look at where he's at right now as a quarterback. Completely different. He was a mobile running quarterback when he got in the NFL. Now he's one of the best pocket passers in football. So it's like, just because a player is something when they enter the NFL doesn't mean that they're not going to receive the coaching and not going to receive the help that quarterback needs to get them to the next level. And my thing is, like, if in college they can build an offense around Fernando Mendoza's strength, I think that they're going to be able to do that once he gets to the Raiders because of who the head coach is and who the play caller is. Clint Kubiak, one of the best offensive minds in the game. So to me, like, I like Ty Simpson. I think he could be a good quarterback in the NFL. There are things to like, but when I look at Mendoza, I look at a guy who showed up in the biggest spots, who was consistent throughout the course of this past season. He has NFL traits about him, and he has a bunch of starts under him. That's why I prefer him over Ty Simpson.